Join me every Tuesday for fun and games and play for cash. That's right. Sylvia Mid, the fun word guessing game is back and you can come aboard and play. It's simple. Just email us your name and contact information and you are in there, baby. Yeah.
Hey, it is Smooth Tim and Larry E. And thank you all for dropping in with us on another Wednesday on Tim's Tidbits. What's up, Larry?
I'm late again, man. It's my audio this time, kind of.
Oh, hey, problems is what it's all about. The technical issues is what makes everything interesting, right?
Right, right.
Otherwise, hey, I mean, you all must have sent some Texas weather up our way. We're like 85 degrees. I'm like, holy shit.
Man, bro, I'm actually under the weather right now because the weather just changed so drastically. I actually had like a little cold, so I'm getting over it myself.
Pollen.
Oh yeah, you doing it right yourself?
Oh, I'm doing good. They was talking about that on TV. They said, yeah, the oak and maple pollen, and you don't think of oak and maple trees having pollen, but they do. As they're
I got
budding
the
their leaves.
sniffles.
Yep, and they'll
I got
give
the
you
sniffles right now.
So yeah, and there's tons of oak and maple up here. About all we got is oak and maple. So yeah. It's been crazy in that regard. But no, I've been cool. I've been good. No complaints and loving the weather. Even got out and cut the grass today. The deadly first cut.
Yeah, see, yeah. So do you cut your grass like real low for the wintertime,
Mm-hmm.
and then summertime you keep it on the highest level, so it won't burn your grass.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, yeah, it's just a wasted effort, right?
Yeah, and it's easy to fertilize it too when it's cut low. When you get ready to start fertilizing, excuse me. Like I said, I'm under the weather, y'all, so y'all got to excuse me if I start coughing. It got me. I'm talking about grass. All right, let's move on before I start coughing. I don't want to.
Start talking about that kind of stuff,
Man,
fertilizing and growing
I'm telling you,
trees.
man, this weather's killing me this time. I was like I'm bumping, like, man.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna stay strong though, viewers. I'm gonna stay strong. I'm gonna stay strong.
that's what it's all about, man. Hey, what are we? Oh, Texas. How funny that is. That geez, we were talking about your Texas weather, and we lead into our good old buddy Governor Abbott down there.
Oh
All
shit.
right. What? You mean? Oh, sheesh. Governor. He's your governor. But anyhow, hey, you know that Daniel Perry, he was that guy that was convicted for shooting during the BLM protest down there back in
Yeah.
July of 2020. And now your illustrious Governor Abbott's, I guess, talking about,
Pardon him.
forgiving his debt or whatever. Yeah, check it out.
Where we begin tonight. Governor Greg Abbott igniting controversy after saying he will pardon Sergeant Daniel Perry as soon as the paperwork hits his desk. A jury found Perry guilty of murder on Friday for the shooting death of Garrett Foster of Plano during a Black Lives Matter protest in 2020. Perry was working for Uber in downtown Austin when he drove into a crowd of protesters. Perry claims Foster raised an AK-47 at him and he felt threatened. Perry shot Foster 5 times from the window of his car and drove away. Prosecutors said Perry had posted anti-protester sentiments on social media and instigated the violence by turning his car into the demonstration. Now, a judge has not sentenced Perry yet, and the Pardon and Parole Board will have to review the case before recommending a pardon to the governor. WFAA's Sydney Persing joins us now. And Sydney, I know you have more on why the governor is taking action now, plus new reaction from Foster's fiance.
Well, Morgan, it's not yet clear what specific evidence Abbott based his position on. He wasn't in the courtroom. The trial wasn't broadcast, but in his statement, the Republican governor twice made mention of the Democratic district attorney who brought the case.
Guilty of the offense of murder.
After 12 Texans found Daniel Perry guilty of murder, one man, Governor Greg Abbott, promised he'd pardon him.
It's unheard of. It's never happened before.
Attorney Adam Lowy called Abbott's announcement unprecedented. The governor said he'd pardon Perry, provided the board recommends it, just 1 day after a jury found him guilty of murdering Garrett Foster of Plano. Abbott suggesting on Twitter the shooting fell under stand your ground laws.
Your governor. Can you believe that? How could that be stand your ground laws? I was trying to figure that out because basically the evidence is that he was driving Uber, right? And he drove into the middle of this crowd, right? And he had this AK-47 on him, driving an Uber, and he shot people, and 2 people died, right? So, I mean, why would Abbott even consider that it's stand your ground? I mean...
Well, you got to understand the history of Texas. I guess it was a white guy that got killed.
Mm-hmm.
He was with a black woman
Mm-hmm.
at the rally. The history of Texas, they never like black people. They never like African Americans, never like the slaves. So I'm not surprised that he's doing that. I'm actually taking a class now with Texas history back from 1836 to now. And that same problem has been going on, and it's still going on here in Texas. Texas is in the top 5 or 10 of one of the racist states in America, and it's mostly Republican ran. Every year in, year out, Republicans win all the elections, and we have some Democrats, but it's kind of like the Disney thing. He's getting back at the Republican guy for bringing it to trial, but it's wrong. I'm like, when you start drawing a line between what's right and what's wrong, and then on top of that, it's wrong, period. And then people elected this guy.
Right. I just find it stunning that, obviously you had 12 individuals who were in the courtroom listening to the facts and considered the facts. And I'm sure they weren't all black, all white. They're not going to let that happen on a case of this particular nature, right?
Right.
But your governor can just all of a sudden override that and say, well, they're wrong and this guy should have just stood his ground.
They'll take to the federal court. They got bump it up a notch. Am I right? Can they do that? They got to petition it to the federal court. Yeah, petition it to the federal court. Get NAACP involved. Petition it to the federal court, and then go to Supreme or whatever they got to do. Because Texas has a history of trying to do things their own way and operating below the federal standard, and that's just how Texas is, and it sucks. And I don't like this state because of the elective people we have elected that's running it. They do stuff like that.
Stupid.
They're racist.
Well, yeah, and anymore you got to be careful about even taking things before the Supreme Court could go bad for you.
Well, you got to try though. Like they say, you never know until you go. But it is obvious that the guy was wrong. He killed people. He actually killed a white guy. I'm surprised that. I guess it's like white people shouldn't be hanging with black people.
Maybe that's what it was all about. He didn't.
He's nigger lover.
Yeah, he didn't appreciate that. Abbott has
nigger lover syndrome.
I don't know.
It's bullshit.
I have no idea. Anyhow, speaking of police officers, so this guy apparently was but apparently there was a police officer also that got themselves involved in the. I guess you'd maybe call it a hit and run. Check us out and we'll come back and talk about this, all right?
According to a report from Port St. Lucie Police, the child was riding his bicycle right here at the intersection of Savona Boulevard and Becker Road when that Fort Pierce police officer, who we're told was traveling right here in the right turn lane, hit him in his patrol car at an intersection just yards from Debbie Johnson's home.
It's a good neighborhood. We've had no issues or anything.
Came an issue she'd never thought she'd hear.
Very scary.
A child riding his bicycle, hit by a Fort Pierce police officer in his patrol car, according to this report from Port St. Lucie Police.
I was very shocked because we didn't have anything like that to happen out here.
According to the report, the child's mother called Port St. Lucie Police, telling them her son was crossing the road at the walk signal at Becker Road and Savona Boulevard when the police car bumper clipped him, knocking him over. She told police the officer in the car did check on her son, offering him a Band-Aid, but then drove away without contacting her, filing a report, or leaving her son with his information. Based on the child's description of the officer's patrol car and uniform, Port St. Lucie police say they figured out the officer is with Fort Pierce police, and that this surveillance video from a nearby home shows the patrol car of Officer Eric Arellano heading towards the crash site just moments before the accident. Port St. Lucie officers also say when they confronted Arellano about the incident, he denied the whole thing twice, until officers showed him the evidence against him, prompting a confession. I reached out to Fort Pierce police, who declined an on-camera interview, but told me Officer Arellano is on administrative leave, pending an internal investigation. They also sent me this statement, reading in part, quote, "We take situations like this quite serious, and our investigating of this incident will be extremely thorough."
You believe that?
Well, it was an accident, and he just should have wrote a report.
Eric, yeah, well, he offered to get a Band-Aid.
Yeah, he should have wrote a report.
Yeah,
I don't think it's as bad as they making it out to be. He made a mistake. It could have been worse than what it was. But at the end of the day, he should have reported it. That's his fault. The key word
is he made a mistake, right?
It's a mistake. Yeah,
it was a simple mistake, and there may have been absolutely no injuries whatsoever, right? Apparently there weren't.
It'd have been noticed. It'd have been said he was in the hospital, but it wasn't any injuries. But he should at least did more than what he did.
And then you shouldn't have lied about it. That's the problem that I have, is why if you were confronted about it, hey, did you hit a little kid over here? I don't know shit about it. Come on now.
That's
you should
mentality.
You should have, what do they say? Oh, what a tangled web we weave.
Yeah, I'm like, just do a fucking report, man.
Yeah, don't lie about it. You'd be a lot less hassle. Yeah, I mean, think about it. Probably would have never made the friggin' news if he wouldn't have lied about it and would have said, yeah.
But listen, in our line of business, even my line of business, when I was doing loss prevention and asset protection, anytime you have an incident, you gotta have a report. It's all about the paper trail. Create a paper trail saying that I made this mistake, I stopped, I rendered aid to the kid, and the kid said he was okay, so I continued along with what I was doing. And he never should have lied. That's all he had to do.
But that was obviously neglected. And who knows? I mean, that probably happens quite a bit. Not necessarily with this Eric guy out of Fort Perry, but in other agencies also.
Well, I know one time my wife told me that this one girl, a police officer hit her from behind, and they got out and asked her for her license, arrested her after they hit her. She probably had warrants or some shit. I'm just saying, but still.
Yeah, For what?
She probably had warrants, but still, I'm like,
you should. Yeah.
Why would you can't arrest somebody you hit when they don't have warrants? So I'm like, damn.
For what? Yeah, I'm trying. For what? I'm trying to think what she would have been charged with. Besides, she would have had some type of other paper.
She had to have some warrants.
Some paper hanging on her.
Some paper hanging on her. So it's probably, but it happens like that. Police officers make mistakes all the time. As long as nobody got killed this time.
No, apparently he just injured him, offered him a, maybe a little dinosaur Band-Aid, and was on his way.
That's all he had to do, man. So he's gonna be in trouble. He's gonna have some. I don't think they're gonna fire him, but they're probably gonna push it for some money. So.
Oh well, yeah. Well, that's always in the air, Larry. We know this. That when any incident occurs, somebody's going to see money involved. You're going to have a lawyer bumping up the family saying, hey, right?
Tim, I'm trying to get Rodney King right now. I'm like, I ain't got no warrants. I got decent credit. I'm kind of handsome. I'm waiting for a cop to fuck me up.
Waiting for something to happen. Just waiting, just praying.
I'm like, what's the comedian? I forgot his name. He said, beat my ass, give me my cash. Eddie Griffin, Rodney King.
Man,
But you got to have your shit together before you start trying to fuck with the police officers.
Amen. Anyhow, hey, did you see, and we talked about this, and I think you brought this to my attention. We were talking about shootings, and we went from school shootings to now we got a bank shooting. And let's watch this video. I want to talk about this bank shooting because this one trips me out big time.
Police arrived here at Old National Bank within minutes yesterday, killing the gunman in a shootout. Still, 5 people are dead and several others remain in the hospital now.
Hey, I see the shooter at the bank.
A workplace shooting here at Old National Bank in Louisville, Kentucky. It had bank employees locking themselves in bathrooms and reportedly hiding in the vault.
We heard a click, and the lady next to me turned around and said, "What the hell?" And then he just started shooting.
The shooter, 25-year-old Connor Sturgeon, had an AR-15 rifle, according to Louisville's mayor. Sources tell ABC News Sturgeon had learned he was about to be fired and left a note indicating he planned to shoot up the bank. Two former bank employees say they knew the gunman. They say they saw no red flags.
It's mind-boggling to hear who did it.
Authorities say officers arrived 3 minutes after being dispatched and exchanged gunfire with the shooter, killing him. Among those critically injured, rookie officer Nicholas Wilt. Officials say he was shot in the head and had brain surgery.
I just swore him in, and his family was there to witness his journey to become a police officer.
The 5 dead identified as Jim Tutt, Josh Barrick, Juliana Farmer, Deanna Eckert, and Tommy Elliott, a close friend of Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear.
It's one of the people I talk to most in the world.
The Louisville community gathered for a vigil following the 15th mass shooting in the U.S. just this month.
Until we start taking concrete steps that back up our prayers and our professions and our political statements, we're going to continue to stand here and say, here we go again.
Here we go again.
Woo, man.
You know what I don't understand? Here's my question about that whole thing at the bank. Apparently this guy brought his AR-15 to work with him, but left a note at home because he had already known that he's coming in to be canned.
Coming in hot.
So, I mean, why would you even let a person know, number one, that you're going to fire them? What, come in tomorrow, Larry, and make sure you bring that box, make a couple boxes, you're gone. I mean, what? Have you ever heard? That's absurd.
He still could have came back and shot it up. But
Yeah. But you don't just, see that, I think that is the, where they're going to have liability, is why would you already have let that individual know? I don't care whether you think he's a nutcase or whether you don't think. I don't care what your opinion of the gentleman is. You don't sit there and tell anybody. I mean, I worked in corporate security forever, and we would just, when they made layoffs like that of people that were, you never gave them pre-notice. You just walked up if they thought it was necessary and helped them clean out their desk and walked them out of the building and said, thank you very much for your time and service.
I'll tell you what happened. They were probably gossiping and talking, and that's what happened. That's how he found out. I don't think they directly said, hey, we're firing you tomorrow, because I worked on the corporate side. I fired people before, and they never saw it coming.
You shouldn't let them know.
So-and-so come to my office, let me speak to you. But everybody knew when I called them to my office, after you leave out, you don't have a job. They knew. So now I would call, back then I called people to my office for something other than that. They were like, man, I'm like, what's wrong? You can fire me? I said, no, I ordered you some shirts for you to wear.
I just want to know what size shirt you was.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But still, you know, I got to say it, Tim. This is the crazy thing. This is the difference, and not to sound racist, between black people and white people. Okay. If a black person know they're finna get fired, they not coming to work. Not on the next day. They're coming to get their check.
Yep.
They're not coming to work.
They got to tell you to kiss my ass.
Monday, if gossiping Monday, they getting fired. They gonna either do one or two things: find a way to keep their job until they find something else, or they're gonna come to work when they need to get their check and then say fuck you and throw shit and they tear shit up. But white people don't do that.
They come. Yeah, that's.
I'm like, it's not the first time we've seen it though. Am I correct? The postal incidents. I don't think it's crazy, man. It's these guns and these mass shootings.
And what happens? That leads into what happens, Larry, when you sit there. We heard about what happened to the Tennessee lawmakers, right? The Justin Jones and Justin Pearson, the representatives in Tennessee that got ousted for making too much noise about gun control. Watch this.
I don't get it.
Watch this video.
Okay.
The fallout after the Republican supermajority in the Tennessee State House took the extremely rare step of ousting two of their Democratic colleagues.
Expelled from the House of Representatives of the 113th Assembly of the state of Tennessee.
A third Democrat, Representative Gloria Johnson, narrowly surviving the expulsion.
It might have to do with the color of our skin.
Johnson, a white woman, joined her two black colleagues, Representatives Justin Pearson and Justin Jones, last week in a protest on the House floor, demanding stricter gun laws in the wake of the Nashville Christian elementary school shooting that killed 6 people, including 3 children.
We called for you all to ban assault weapons, and you respond with an assault on democracy.
This morning.
He has something he wants to say about school shootings. Here is his extra point.
Another high school shooting yesterday, this one in Florida. 17 dead, the last report I saw. And everybody sends their thoughts and prayers again because that works so well. This is the 18th high school shooting in America this year, and we have 10 and a half months to go. We've had 290 since 2013. We average about 1 a week, but there's just nothing we can do. If it was a Muslim or a Mexican doing the shooting, how many new laws and how much money would we spend then to stop the madness? But since it's almost always a white kid, there's just nothing we can do. America has 5% of the world's population and yet 31% of the world's mass shootings. We're worried about people coming to this country. They should be worried about us going to theirs. Australia had 4 mass shootings between 87 and 96. They passed stricter gun laws and haven't had a single mass shooting since. And here I thought, guns don't kill, people do. Is this the people we are? Last time I said we need to find a way to stop a nut with a gun, and that's all I said. I get an email saying, I'm saving my last bullet to put it right between your eyes. Just another responsible gun owner in America, and I'm taking all bets he's a white guy. So there's just nothing we can do. I'm Dale Hansen. It's getting harder to enjoy the day.
Bam.
When I saw that, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't give a damn what anybody say. It sounds, we in America, it sounds better coming from a white man.
The truth.
When a white man
the truth. You mean the truth?
This country's established. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. You know, like,
I'm like, they're not gonna expel Dale Hansen, but they got rid of those 2 black dudes. I'm like, that's how it is. It's sad, but they just want better gun control laws, and there ain't nothing wrong with that. And he stated the facts.
Yeah, and I understand, you know, there's a whole lot of perspectives on this, you know, as far as, no, you don't want to, you know, disarm the public. No, because, you know, what happens then, easily you could be invaded, or even the government could take you over, right? I mean,
They just
right?
said no assault weapons. Yeah,
they're just saying, you know, we're saying, hey, these assault weapons need to get regulated. This is insane. This guy can just walk into the frickin' bank with an AR-15, you know, into elementary school, you know, pop, 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 pop. I mean, come on, man. When is enough? Besides saying, you know, and what I think is even more aggravating is when your representative saying, I'm going to have my people put together a commission to look in and get something done about this.
We got guys like
that doesn't do shit. You know, so you put a commission together to do something about it, but they didn't do shit. All you did was just blew a bunch of freaking smoke up somebody's ass.
Man, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have guns. Because
neither am I, Larry.
My wife has 2 guns. I don't have guns.
I believe in the right to carry.
Yeah, I believe that we should be able to bear arms. You know, what's one of our amendments? But at the end of the day, when do we draw the line from?
Where do you regulate it? Yeah, where do you regulate this?
Like, it's out of control now. Mass shootings. I'm like, how are they going to regulate it? They already have. I guarantee you, Tim, they already got something written right now to regulate that shit. They just waiting for something or somebody or something to say we're going to do it this way.
But he made it right. And he made a point. He says, you know, we're worried about other countries coming into our, you know, into our country and killing us. Whether, you know, they're the ones that should be worried when you look at, you know, how we are. He had a point, you know. I'm like, he's got a damn good point. And then the other thing that he said, if it was a Muslim or a Mexican or a black, you would see some laws. Something would happen.
That's true. That's very true.
But since it's a wasp, Let's call a spade a spade. It's because it's a wasp. We're not going to do anything about it.
It's true, and it's sad. And then no one should have to live that way, and no one should have to live in terror. And this crazy part about it is, they can do something about it.
Sure, they could.
They do something about everything else. They want to play. I don't understand why they want to just regulate the guns. I'm like, it's so easy. They got the power. They got the military. They got everything they need to regulate these guns. Yeah. I was trying not to say that. I was trying to make it more of a conversation, but they pay too much money to. They pay.
Well, I don't see how they. I mean, what do they want? I mean, how can these gun companies not be happy with selling? Their shotguns, their standard rifles, their handguns. I mean, why do you need so badly to market these assault weapons?
Man, people are so greedy right now. They know that people will buy them. They're going to sell them. They want to keep it
They
circulating.
want it.
They don't care about no one's life. Those senators and representatives.
And I wonder, the black market for them. Then that's what's going to get real interesting. What's going to happen when you do make them harder rather to obtain, and then what's that going to do to the black market?
They're out there anyway. Yeah. Those AR-15, those not even good guns.
Yeah, they are junk. I mean, they jam up all the time.
The best guns are used. Best gun, Glocks and Smith & Wesson 6-shooters. Because if you want to kill somebody and not leave evidence, use a 6-shooter because the shell stays inside the chamber. Okay.
Yeah. Then the only ballistic they got is off of the bullet.
Yeah, and then you still got to find a gun.
Yeah, right. Still got to find the gun. So, yep. And the most deadly gun is actually a 22.
Yeah, because everybody can afford it.
Because it penetrates, especially into the skull, bounces around.
And it's not really expensive.
Right.
It's not really expensive. AR-15s. I'm like, come on, man. Just a coward.
Yeah.
I would have went in there. Listen.
$5 gun will do the trick better than that $1,500 gun.
If I was that pissed, I would have went in there and started putting hands on people. I can take an assault case. He works at the bank. He probably has a good criminal background. A simple assault case. Go slap some motherfuckers around. Whoop up on the damn bank manager's gonna fire you. Beat his mother. I've seen it happen before. I seen the guy getting fired. He beat the guy up there firing him.
Beat his ass.
Yeah. I was there for a job interview, and I was like, well, I ain't gonna work here. And I walked out and left.
Yep, time for me to bounce, man. This is a whole different environment. When you fire somebody and then they're beating your ass, no wonder you need security.
Exactly. I left. I said, no, for me, excuse me.
Yeah, gotta go. What you here for? Something else. Gotta go. Bye. Hey, anyhow, speaking of craziness, man, there is a guy that's been getting, how they have these Apple AirTags and that you can put in your luggage and stuff like that, and in your phones. This guy's having like a real major issue with all of this. Check it out.
The fallout after the Republican supermajority
bad one here. Let me
Tennessee
get rid
State
of this.
House took the extremely rare step of ousting 2 of their Democrats.
Enjoy the day.
Get the right video up there. There we are.
Well, only on 13, a homeowner in Richmond says almost a dozen people have knocked on his door over the last several years, accusing him of stealing their iPhones, AirPods, and even other devices.
Yeah, when they search for their stolen items on their Find My iPhone app, well, it rings back to his address. But the problem? The homeowner says he hasn't stolen a thing.
So he says Apple has made a serious mistake, which he worries could turn dangerous for him and for his family. ABC 13's Brooke Taylor has been looking into this story all day. Brooke, what is the latest here?
Yes, Scott Schuster tells me that he moved into his home in 2018, and ever since, every few months, people will come knocking on his door, sometimes in the middle of the night, just thinking that he stole their lost items. He has 2 young children. He tells me it's gotten to the point where he's worried for their safety because their kids are sometimes afraid to sleep at night.
Well, the cops are on their way over here, so you may want to come talk to me before they come here.
Upset and frustrated, this woman threatens to call the police because she believes the person at this address in Richmond stole her lost phone. And she's not the only one. Not even close.
My brother's phone is lost, and the last ping location was right here.
The homeowner, Scott Schuster, though, says he has never stolen iPhone, AirPod, or anything of the sort.
Had to wake up and go answer the door and explain to them that I don't have their device.
and people don't tend to believe you.
Just saying it doesn't make any sense that the phone saying it's here.
Schuster isn't sure why the Find My iPhone app is pinging his address either. He says he's just as upset as the people showing up at his door. With 2 young kids, 7 and 9, he's worried for his family's safety.
There's plenty of irrational people in the world that if they're angry, if they're drunk, if they, have had a rough night and they lost their phone and thought it was stolen, that's my biggest concern. Someone come into the house, potentially with a weapon.
He's called Apple support, messaged them, and filed a report, but says nothing has ever been resolved. Schuster, who happens to be a software engineer, has his own theories, but can't be sure as to why this is happening. Desperate for help, he turned to us.
What's your response to someone watching who says he stole the phones and AirPods? This seems convenient.
Yeah, my neighbors like to tease me that I'm the neighborhood iPhone and iPod and whatever thief. No, I don't go out much enough to do that. I work from home. I have young children. I would just like it fixed. I think my kids will sleep more peacefully at night.
Is that insane?
Yeah, he's a software developer, so maybe it's something connected to that.
I have no idea, but I could not imagine people coming up on your door. Yeah, give me my iPhone, man. You're like, what? And it happens like all the time to you. People coming up, wanting their luggage. My luggage is here at my my iPhone tracker. That would just, and I understand why he's fearful for his kids, because I imagine some people get irrational.
Yeah, people are crazy about those phones, man.
So
my daughter's a phone addict.
And she thinks somebody's got their phone. Let's say it was even the next door neighbor, and they're saying, "No, I haven't seen your phone." And it's like, listen, it says right here on the map, you've got my phone.
Man, I've seen my wife act a fool over somebody delivering a package to the wrong door. She done went down to their door and said, "Come on, we got to go get my shit." I'm like, "Huh?"
Oh, really?
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Oh, you mean when UPS or somebody says delivered, and it's like, and you're looking outside, and it's like,
people want their stuff, man. Think about it, Tim. They done spent time and energy. excuse me, everybody. The time and energy to order that stuff and then wait for it to deliver. They track, because women track it on the phone. They're tracking it on the phone, and then when it says it's here, they want it there.
Wait, do that again. Women on the phone, they be tracked.
They be tracking that. When they said it's there, you're about to be there. I'm like,
oh, goodness. Anyhow, yeah. Hey, Queen Sylvie, thank you. And she says, hope you get feeling better, Larry E.
I'm trying to stay strong. Can you tell I'm hurt a little bit?
Yeah, sounds like you got a snoot full.
I don't know what happened. It just hit me a couple of days ago. We good, though. I'm a soldier. Anytime I cough or something like that, I'll just try to play it off and do this. And then I'll press mute.
No, I saw that on that iPhone, and I was like, man. And I wonder, if anything would happen. Let's say that an incident happens, and he's reported this now to Apple, yes? And he's reported it to the police, and now the news has got a hold of it. Now, something would happen.
Right.
Yeah, what do you think that would be? That'd be an interesting lawsuit, too. See how many times have I notified you for, what did they say, for 2 years this has been going on?
Yeah, so then he has the right, excuse me.
Where they say that was at, Richland Hills?
Yeah, so then he has the right.
That's up around y'all. That's up by you.
Yeah, he created the paper trail, so he's good. Create the paper trail, you're good.
Interesting. Yeah.
You report it, create the paper trail, you're good. So he good.
Speaking of paper trails, you're good at you're good at leading us right into our next one. And now we know that sometimes there should be a paper trail, and in other instances there's not a paper trail, because sometimes they figure they don't need to have a paper trail if you're a Supreme Court justice, that is.
Island hopping on a super yacht in Indonesia, all-male retreats at an exclusive California club, fishing at a private resort in the Adirondacks. For more than 2 decades, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas has reportedly enjoyed luxury travel virtually every year, sometimes traveling the world aboard a private jet with a Dallas billionaire Republican mega donor without disclosing any of it to the public. An expensive secret that is now landing the conservative justice in hot water. The travel, reported by the nonprofit journalism outlet ProPublica, never appeared in Thomas's financial disclosures. Thomas's host, real estate magnate Harlan Crow, has not had any direct business before the court, but his gifts and his access to the court's most senior conservative member have sparked concern. Thomas and the Supreme Court have not commented, but in the past, Thomas has portrayed himself as a man of simple tastes.
I prefer the RV parks. I prefer the Walmart parking lots to the beaches and things like that. There's something normal to me about it. I come from regular stock.
In a statement, Harlan Crow said he and Justice Thomas have been close friends since 1996, and they never discussed pending cases, adding he never sought to influence Thomas, calling the trips no different from the hospitality we've extended to our many other dear friends. The Supreme Court has no formal code of ethics and no enforcement mechanism for any potential wrongdoing. Congressional Democrats are calling to change that.
There's absolutely no reason why the Supreme Court shouldn't be subject to a code of conduct just like every other federal judge.
Yeah, he full of shit. I prefer Walmart parking lots to a beach.
But look at this. Yeah, and he's doing what, these elaborate trips that are probably we couldn't even afford. Probably,
Man,
worth
I look at it
umpteen
like
thousands, $20,000, $30,000 trips. Easy.
I look at it like this, Tim. They met their quota. One of them niggas got to go.
Well, I mean, I just don't understand, number one, how just because you're a Supreme Court justice, you don't have to, abide by the same rules that, other representatives of the public. Aren't you?
You got to hold everybody to the same rules.
When you think,
so how you can't abide by the same rules?
Yeah, I mean, right? You're not going to have a senator, take that kind of a elaborate money from at least up front, or that in your face.
Man, I'm like, they piss me off with this double standard crap. Even though he's a black man, he's a sellout. All right,
he's the same one, and he's the same one. His wife is the white woman that's real anti-abortion, and she's leading the rally on that. And that was part of the people's complaint, is because, what influence did she have on you when it came to this abortion issue? Now, Texas, what happened? You had a district judge that banned that pill for abortion pill.
Yeah.
And then the Washington judge, said no, you got to abide by, let it's standard. Now see where that goes. But as it goes as the Supreme Court, what position is Clarence Thomas got to take?
Yeah, he's gonna go to position to ban the bill. Ban
the pill. And we know that it's been around for 20 years. So, I mean,
And the key word was our special friends, because it's not just him getting those elaborate I can't say it.
Elaborate. Extravagant.
Those extravagant trips, those lavish trips.
Yeah, come on, man. All of those words, Larry. Shit, come on.
That's why he said our special friends. You know, he said that? He implemented everybody else. So he's saying, if y'all keep pushing this forward, I'm gonna tell everybody else, because I'm saying.
So you people, yeah.
I seen the first 48. Black people snitch, and I know damn well white people snitch. So, shit, somebody gonna tell.
What happens? I thought snitches got stitches.
Now, when you dealing with money, when you dealing with some big money, they gonna tell on each other.
Yeah, that's true too. They're only gonna do 5 years, so what the hell? Doesn't matter what they did. Yeah.
If you gonna snitch, at least get something big out of it. I'm gonna snitch over 500. He stole $50 from me.
It's amazing, these guys. Yeah, that what do they call that? White collar crime, right?
Yeah, it's like that's the crazy part. The crime is crime, but it's on different levels, and it applies to different people.
Oh yeah. Think about just how it's labeled. Come on. Why would they call that, white collar crime? Oh, because it has to do with money and finance and business and
everything else
people and everything else that the white people have. So called white collar crime.
Our country is so damn pathetic, and I love being here. I love being in America.
Oh, I love America.
And I love my
I really
people.
do.
God damn. I love my people like I love
We
my
still
white
got a
people,
long
black
way to
people.
go. We say that every show, don't we?
I love my
We
people.
still got a
White,
long
black,
way to go,
Mexican,
folks.
Indian. Yeah, I love my people, man, but they just make it so complicated, Tim.
Mm.
Jesus Christ. They just make it so complicated.
Because it makes it interesting. Makes life freaking interesting. Hey, where are we at? Oh, yeah. Bam, Larry. We are there, brother. To the asshole of the week. And man,
Thompson, big forehead
and
ass.
well, hey, check it out.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Come on, bro. He done broke both his legs.
What?
That should be the dumbass of the week, bro.
It is dumbass of the week, too. I was like,
he had on one of those Go-Go Power Rangers outfits on.
You want to see it again? We'll
Yeah,
put.
look like a Go-Go
We'll,
Power Ranger.
yeah, we'll do it one more time.
Look at his outfit. Looks like a broke-ass Wesley Snipes. I'm like, he ain't make it over the damn hood. He got hit with the bumper.
He wasn't even close.
Come on, bro. If you gonna practice a little bit, get a.
Did you hear that thud?
Oh, he hurt.
Oh yeah, he's hurting. You could hear it hit his shins. You know, man, anytime you get kicked in the shin, hurts like a mug, right? You imagine getting a bumper slamming into your shins, you'd be like, oh man.
Hey, I bumped my shin on my bed and knocked the skin off 2 times. My shin look like crap right now. Off a bed with padding on it.
And you hollered and cried like a baby, didn't you?
Oh, bro, as grown as I am, got these muscles and stuff.
Cried like a baby. Sissy ass. Oh, damn, that hurt. No shit. Anyhow, hey, Larry.
All right, let's get to it.
Get to it.
LRE Fitness Solutions. We keep you moving. Check me out on IG. Check me out on Facebook at LRE Fitness Solutions. We keep you moving. LRE Fitness Solutions. We keep you moving. Instagram, Facebook, and you'll see what I got. I got new videos coming soon. I keep saying that, but I ain't had time because I've been working. I've been busy, and I'm sick today. But check this out. This is very important when you're working out. Like I said, I don't do a lot of fitness tips when it comes to lifting weights because that's easy. Get the right gear, okay? Make sure you have the right gear, excuse me, when you're working out so you can feel very comfortable. If you're swimming, get you some swimming trunks. I ain't gonna tell you the names because they're not paying us for me to say the name.
Speedos.
They're not paying us. Get you some good swimming trunks. Don't swim in no shorts and no bullshit. Get you some real good trunks to swim in if you're seriously swimming. If you're going to the gym, make sure you get you some good workout clothes. Do not get on the treadmill wearing pajamas and clogs and sweatpants. Stay off the treadmill. Do not go jogging wearing clogs, pajamas. Stop that madness. Do not go running in high top shoes. Get you some good running shoes, decent price, and then get you some shorts and get you a nice shirt so your body can breathe. Do not go out there and run and work out not wearing a proper attire because 2 things are going to happen. You're going to look like a fool, and then it's going to take away from your workout. You got to feel comfortable. You got to feel free when you exercise. You don't want to feel heavy. You don't want to feel, in the wintertime, you don't want to feel too light because you might freeze. So make sure summertime, get you some comfortable, tight clothes that's not super tight, but clothes that are tight enough where you can still breathe, and then you can feel smooth and comfortable when you run. That's my tip for the week. Dress accordingly, people. Instagram, LRE Fitness Solutions. Facebook, LRE Fitness Solutions. Holler at me.
Sniffle, sniffle, sniffle.
Oh, man.
Sounded okay, though, man. Hey, anyhow, shoot, you know. So we've been talking gun violence, and we've been talking about that way too many shows. So I'm sitting there thinking, you know, the world is filled with violence. And because criminals carry guns, law-abiding citizens should also have guns. Otherwise, criminals will win and law-abiding citizens will lose. You know, as profound as that is, it's true.
Yeah.
That's
So
why
we're not
we
saying
have
don't
to,
carry guns. Yeah.
you know, we have to arm ourselves. And again, hey, but let's try to keep it under control. And, oh, you know what? And I found this one, and I found this to be a really, I love this statement because it makes a whole lot of sense. And, you know, if you think guns make us safer and deter violence, just remember John F. Kennedy and Reagan were surrounded by some of the world's most well-armed guards. And that didn't prevent the shooting.
No. Keep guard up.
So we still have to. There's still people out there, folks, that don't need to be having a gun in their damn hand. That's what we need to get under control, Larry. We need to start having some, you know, type of profile that you need to go through. I mean, hey, take a questionnaire or something. Why do you want to own a gun?
No, why do
you know,
wanna
you
own
might
an
be
AR-15?
surprised. People might say, because I want to kill everybody.
No, Tim. Why do you want to own an AR-15? What is your occupation? What is your need for this gun? What are you going to do with this gun? Why do you need an AR-15? Is it for recreation? No. Well, then why do you need it? No, you can't have it.
You're right. You know what I think, though? When it comes to enough is enough, that's what we need to tell our representatives. That's what we need to tell our congressmen. That's what we need to tell our mayors. That's what we need to tell our senators, our governors. Enough is enough. You ain't doing shit. Enough is enough. We need somebody in there who is going to do something to help deter all of this, because I'm tired of my children, my grandchildren having to go to school in fear and learning how to hide under a damn desk. Not because of the tornado drills like we had back in the day, yeah? But because of an active shooter. Come on.
Like,
Come on.
Professor X down here in Texas is not.
Come on.
It sucks.
Right? Let's keep it real. Anyhow, on that beautiful, wonderful note, until next week, hey, man, Larry and I are so out of here. Peace, man. Thank you for joining us.